Hello everyone and welcome to Motegi East for round 10 of the GT300 Championship at vrroom.org, and we've got another great race for you. Slightly depleted field, but we'll quickly go through the grid. And there we see the front row. We have yet another pole position for Scalebreaker and another front row start for Stuntman. Second row, we have Malada starting third. He was a bit unlucky. He was bumped off the front row in the last few seconds by Stunt. Jezza doing a great job with a new setup apparently on his RX-7. Row 3 we have N10 and Slicker. N10 usually races better than he qualifies, so we need to watch out for him. Row 4 we have Scouser and Rick. In two more Salikas. That's 4 Salikas in this race, and bringing up the last place on the grid is Hatcher, who swapped from his familiar Arta Garaya into a third RX-7. Unfortunately, we've got no Danny in this one. He sent his apologies, so we've lost the Subaru. We've also lost Turner and Rayman, who haven't made it this week. I think they might be playing GTA 5. Anyway, let's get on with the race. And this is on board with Malada, and there's a penalty for a jump start there, and look at all the cars flying past him. Absolute disaster. But we're going to go on board now with Slicker, who is in 6th. Runs deep into turn 1, slight nudging match with N10, side by side with N10 through 2, and up to 4th place for Slicker. So great start for Slicker, and he's got a great run through those sweepers. Oh, Jezza almost threw it off on cold tyres there, and it's Scalebreaker in the lead and already easing away from Stuntman and Jezza. Slicker 4th, N10 5th. Then it's Hatcher 6th and Malada. Let's have a look at him. He's down in 7th place. So it's all gone horribly wrong for Malada. Ooh, someone going wide. That's Hatcher taking a bit too much speed into the first of the S's. And Malada is closing back in on Hatcher. Now Malada's in a very close championship fight with N10. They're battling for 3rd in the championship, and Malada has dropped a couple of places behind N10, so he's going to need to make some progress from here. Whoa! almost running off the track. We're going to go on board with N10 now, because it looks like he's got a run on Slicker. Down into turn 1 for the start of lap 2, and there he goes. Slicker sees him coming, gives him some room, and there's still 2 abreast here. And this is Slicker's view, and that's a mirror image of lap 1 between the 2 of them through there. Ooh, slight mistake from Slicker. So N10 now comfortable in 4th, and we've got someone off. It's Hatcher. No, it's not. Yes, it was Hatcher. Oh, and he's come straight back past Rick. Hatcher went off, just leading onto that straight, and dropped a couple of places. And I think we're going to see that again. Let's see that again. So this is. We'll go to the outside shot. I think might give us a better view. So Hatcher still running 6th. That's pretty impressive after starting last, 9th on the grid. Got Malada close behind. And it all looks pretty good through there, but just runs a bit deep into the first part of that S curve, and then on the grass, and you can see 2 cars go past, and that's Malada and Scouser, and Scouser is attacking Malada around the outside into turn 6, and he's through. Great move there by Scouser. That fantastic driving, and that piles the frustration on for Malada. He's gained a place and then lost one on the same straight. Let's have a look what's happening in the lead, and Scalebreaker is starting to ease. Whoops, bit of a wobble from him there, but didn't lose much time. He's starting to just ease away from Stuntman again, but Stunt's still in that slipstream. Then there's a battle on for third because Jezza is now under pressure from N10. We're going to ride on board with N10. So getting the slipstream down the finishing straight. And is he going to chuck one up the inside? I think he is. Here he goes, late on the brakes. Jezza gives him room. Good respectful driving from both of them. Jezza slightly ahead. Oh, a bit of contact though, and that puts Jezza offline, and he's still offline, and that's given N10 a run. So is this going to be a move into turn 6? Good slipstream up the inside, and I think that's the job done. We'll go on board with Jezza. His view. Whoops. Oh, just keeping that on the track. So Jezza down to 4th. N10's got a long way to go if he's going to catch up with the two leaders. Meanwhile, this is Malada. He's still in 7th place, and he's now 4 places behind N10. So he could really use some passing manoeuvres here, get him back into contention. And he's nicely placed. He can come off this next hairpin right on the tail of Scouser. He may be able to effect a pass into turn 1, and he's in exactly the right place. The trouble is Scouser is picking up a toe from Slicker, so Scouser is not likely to be passed here. So into turn 1, and we've got Jezza attacking back on N10 again. This is for 3rd place. And Jezza all over the back of N10. These two pulling clear of that 3-car battle behind. And N10 looking fairly safe through here. So it's still Scalebreaker in the lead. He hasn't managed to shake Stuntman though. That's a bit of a surprise. Stuntman using the slipstream to just hang on to Scalebreaker, and of course that means Stunt is pulling away the whole time from the rest of the field. You can see them coming through in the background. So 4 laps of 12 completed now, and these two pulled well clear. I'm going to go back on board with the group battling over 5th, 6th and 7th. And look how close they are. Meanwhile, Hatcher and Rick are pretty close as well, 8th and 9th. As they come down to turn 1. And Rick is all over Hatcher through here. Oh, and Hatcher's gone straight on, and straight on into the gravel with no steering whatsoever. Let's have a quick look at his car. It's pretty beached. Oh, he's got steering again now, and he's using a new steering wheel actually, Hatcher, and that seems to have given him problems in this race. So quick reset. He's picked up a bit of damage as well, and he's lost a huge amount of time. Meanwhile, on board with Stuntman, still in that slipstream of Scalebreaker. Scalebreaker not able to make the break. He needs to pull out just over 1.5 seconds, I reckon, for Stuntman not to get the slipstream. Meanwhile, that battle for 5th, 6th and 7th still rages. This is Scouser, still behind Slicker and ahead of Malada. And they're nip and tuck, these three. I'm sure Malada's quicker. He did qualify 3rd after all, but that jump start has cost him Lost him big time in this race, but oh, here comes Scouser down the inside into turn 1, and it's a pass. Yeah, Scouser up to 5th. Oh, but he runs a bit wide through 2, and Slicker sweeps back past. So good racing from those two, and Malada is all over Scouser, but he can't quite make that move. So this race starting to fragment a little bit. We've got 1st and 2nd pulling clear, 3rd and 4th are well clear of this battle, which is for 5th. And Rick is a little bit behind. He was slowed up slightly when Hatcher lost his steering, and Hatcher is a long way off the back after going into the gravel, resetting his steering wheel, and then having a pit stop. So this is the end of lap 6. We're halfway through, and Scouser is right on the tail of Slicker. I think he's going to have another go into turn 1. Didn't quite work for him last time. Here he comes, side by side. Brakes a little earlier, but Slicker still gives him room. So Slicker holds on. Nice driving there. Oh, and here comes Scouser on the inside into 2, and that puts him on the outside through 3, but he's through. So Scouser back to 5th. Oh, a bit of contact between the two Salikas there, and now Malada has got a run. That's what he's been waiting for. He's been stuck behind these two for a few laps now, and Malada gains 2 places at a stroke there. Meanwhile, Slicker and Scouser still side by side. Great driving, a little bit of rubbing every now and then, but nothing serious, and no damage done. And they're still side by side. Fantastic stuff. Scouser and Slicker. Can they do a whole lap side by side? Not quite. So Scouser back into 6th, and Slicker, who was running 4th early on, finds himself down in 7th. And we can see Rick in the background there, perhaps starting to close back up on this group. So now, as we go on to lap 7, we have a quick look at the race leader. When the screen changes, sorry about the black screen, guys, and that's a bit of a lead now for Scalebreaker. He's on the verge of breaking that toe. Perhaps a stuntman making small mistakes. Meanwhile, 3rd place we have N10, who's easing away now from Jezza. You see, I think he's broken that toe. Whoa. Sideways stuff from N10. So 4th is Jezza, doing a good job there with the fastest at the moment, or the best placed of the RX7s. We'll go back to Scouser and Slicker. They've been dropped by Malada already. Just in 1 lap, Malada has gone clear of these two. But they're having an epic battle. Still Scouser ahead. But here comes Slicker, good run through the S-curve, and chucks it up the inside into V, and again they're side by side. Down to the hairpin, surely not too abreast all the way around there. No, it's Scouser back in front, but here comes Slicker again with the cutback. I'm going to quickly flash at the leaders because... not so quickly, because Stuntman is closer than he was last lap. So Stuntman back in that slipstream. The rest all sort of spread out, apart from this battle between Scouser and Slicker, which has been raging for quite a few laps now. We're over 2/3 of the way through the race, and it looks like this is the place that's most likely to change. Oh, that's Slicker running wide, and Scouser right on his tail. Look for a way past there, but Just ran into the back of Slicker slightly. Down into the S's. And it looks like it's pretty close up front. This is Stuntman's view. That's the view I'm after. He's not quite close enough, but that MRS is quick on the straight. And he's going to be putting Breaker under some pressure now into turn 1. Have a look at it from Breaker's point of view. I'm doing a right mess of this. There we go. Just ahead through 3, 4, 5. Just pulling away slightly, and that's giving him enough of a break. Have a look at Slicker's point of view now. He's also going through 3, 4, 5, and Scouser is still on his tail. Oh, down into 6, and again wide for Slicker, and Scouser doesn't quite make the move stick. You know, I'm going to go on board with Jezza, because you can see the car behind. That's Malada, and he's closed quite a... Oh, Jezza running off the track a bit, and that's going to give him dirty tyres perhaps. Yeah, he's a bit timid through the next corner, and you can see that Malada is still closing. We're going to go back on board with Breaker, because here comes Stuntman, and 2 laps to go, and Breaker going defensive into turn 1. Stunt looking to the outside, and Breaker holds on to that lead, but he's been pushed pretty hard in this one. We normally see him clear off into the distance, but he is quick through those sweeping curves of 3, 4 and 5. Here comes Stuntman, and Breaker is having to defend, and Stunt goes through with swap view. Oh, and there's a bit of a collision there, and Breaker got really held up, but Stuntman is letting him through. So Breaker back into the lead. Stuntman rejoins right behind. Meanwhile, this is the view of Jezza and Malada, so they're battling hard now for 4th place. So Malada now only 2 places behind N10, and possibly could gain another one. We're going to go on board with the leaders. Here we go. This is Stuntman's view, and this is as close as he's been coming out of the hairpin, and he's going to use that toe. Breaker defending early. Stunt going to the outside. We need the outside view of this, and it's side by side through turn 1 for the lead as they start the last lap, and still side by side into 2, and Stuntman just ahead, but Breaker's going around the outside in 3. That puts him through on the inside of 4, and Stuntman drops back to 2nd again, but handily placed. So they come down to 6. Stunt trying to go around the outside, but doesn't manage to do it, not quite, and he's starting to run out of opportunities now. Breaker defending. Oh, bit of a collision there into the S-bend, and it looks like Breaker has just about done enough. Meanwhile, we'll have a quick flick at this battle. Jezza is still holding off Malada, and Jezza just has enough, I think, just half a second or so. Meanwhile, the leaders are coming out the final corner, and it's going to be Breaker just from Stuntman. Good race between those two. N10, there he is, finishing a lonely 3rd. Jezza is just going to hold on to that 4th. Meanwhile, Slicker and Scouser, who are still battling hard, going to finish in that order. 6th for Slicker, 7th for Scouser. Rick almost caught them in the end, so Rick 8th, and Hatcher, after his problems, finishes the race in the pits. Right, so we'll have a quick look at the live timings and see what that can tell us. And it tells us that fastest lap went to Stuntman just by a fraction, just by a few hundredths from Scalebreaker, although that would have been with a slipstream assist, so really Breaker was the fastest. Those two in the 23s. Then next fastest was Malada, chasing down Jezza towards the end there. But very similar lap times between Malada N10 and Jezza, and also Hatcher when he was on track. 25.0 for Rick, and then Scouser and Slicker. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that race. I've been VR Stuntman. If you like this kind of racing, then check us out at www.vrroom.org, where you get lots of fast, clean racing, and all the races are marshalled as well. So check us out if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching this. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I've been VR Stuntman, and catch me again soon for round 11.